There are no failures, only those who fail to try. Have you ever sat and wondered, I wonder how it would be possible for me to get good grades in college? I struggled for so many years before I was able to develop good enough study habits to get good grades. It's hard, it's time consuming, but it is possible. By following a few simple steps I have laid out, you'll be on the right track to feeling accomplished in your schoolwork. There are so many things you could do to obtain and keep good grades, but I have listed just a few of them that might help. One of the most important things to do is to get enough sleep. Get to bed at a good time so you're well focused the next morning in class. College is about having fun and meeting new people, and for all you single people out there, maybe even your future spouse. However, it is also very important that you stay focused and get good grades. If you're out partying every night, it makes it nearly impossible to get the sleep you need to stay focused in your classes. Set aside a time every night that you will try to be to bed by. I know this seems childish, and we all did this as we were kids, but it is very important. Don't stay up all night long trying to finish a homework assignment that's due the next day. Get to bed at a good time so you can get up early enough to finish it. Ask questions. If you're unsure of the material, then just ask. Everyone's had that day where you're sitting in class and you have absolutely no clue what the teacher's talking about. This is when you just raise your hand and ask. Teachers are there to help you. They want you to succeed. Don't feel as if your question is dumb. I can almost guarantee that someone else in the classroom has the same question. If you're too shy to raise your hand, then just ask a neighbor, or after class just pull the teacher aside and ask him what your question is. Asking questions is a good way to get a class discussion going. It helps everyone better understand the material, and when you ask a question, then it helps you not to forget it. Make sure you take good notes in class. This will only help you in the long run. Have you ever heard of anyone taking bad notes? And if you have, then they probably didn't get the best grades. If the teacher writes something on the board, then make sure you write it down. Notes are so nice to have when you have an upcoming test, and you can quickly review over your notes and refresh your memory. If the teacher writes something on the board and says, hey, this is really important, and he stars it and underlines it, then make sure you write it down. Teachers are there to help you to get better grades. This isn't always the case, but personally for me, taking notes helps me to know what's going on more. If I'm actively involved in a lecture, it helps me stay awake and have a better understanding of the material. Taking notes can help put a visual picture in your mind. If you draw pictures or a graph, then it will usually help you grasp more what's being talked about. One way to distract you from learning is to have your phone or other electronic devices out. When you're in class, then put it away. Texting your boyfriend or girlfriend can wait for a better time. It doesn't have to be that hour and a half block of class time that you have. Having your phone out is not only distracting to you, but also to the peers around you. If you're texting someone or playing a game, then you aren't listening and you're missing out on the lecture, which is usually pretty important. Teachers put a lot of time into lecturing their students, so you need to pay attention and support them. It's okay to have out a computer as long as you're following along with the material. Sometimes if you're sitting in the back, it can be hard to see the board or a PowerPoint or whatever, so if you have your computer out, then you can follow along with what he's doing. Turn your phone on silent. When your phone goes off from either a call or a text message, it's disruptive to everybody. Everyone's had that person in class where your phone goes off and then their attention goes away and everyone looks at that person and they're embarrassed and it's just put it away and keep it on silent. Finally, set aside a block of time to study for each class. If you don't have a set schedule, it makes studying very hard and staying motivated hard to do. Setting aside a Setting aside a time to study can be very helpful in getting all of your assignments done. If you just procrastinate, like I sometimes have done and hasn't turned out the best for me, then and you say like, oh, I'll do it later, chances are you most likely won't. Just when you get the assignment, then get it done then. Don't sit there and wait, because then your assignments all build up and then you're doing a bunch of homework right before it's due and they're not the best. And anyways, just get it done right when the teacher hands it to you. For each class that you have, set aside a couple hours a day to work on any assignments that you might have. If you don't have any homework, then just study and be prepared for the next lecture you have in class. Trust me, it makes it a lot easier when the test comes along. Try to focus on one class at a time. I know everyone has that one class that takes up all of your time because it's super hard, but set aside a block of time for each individual class to study for so you're not, abandoning the other easier classes that you might have. In conclusion, it is not impossible to get good grades in college. Although it may seem stressful and impossible at times, you just need to sit there and remind yourself that with these two steps of getting to bed at a good time, not staying out late and partying all night for you partiers, raising your hand in class, taking good notes, and finding time to study that you will be successful. Getting good grades does not mean you have to be the smartest person ever. I am not just naturally a very smart person. I have to sit there and study for hours for me to remember and obtain all the material. But if you do study, then you will be successful. Now that you know all the steps necessary, then let's stop making excuses and get to work to get good grades. Thanks.